A civilization buried in sand, but never truly lost. For 3,000 years, they ruled the edge of eternity. Millions lived beneath their gaze. Millions died, believing the journey had only begun. They built monuments so vast that even today, we struggle to explain them. But what was it really like to wake up inside the greatest civilization of the ancient world? Pharaoh. In the beginning, there was only the river, the lifeblood of a nation and the architect of its history. The annual inundation of the Nile brought more than just water. It brought the promise of survival. As the silt settled, seeds were cast into the earth, marking the start of the harvest cycle that fed millions. From these humble fields rose the monumental ambition of a society that defied the passage of time. The Pharaoh, a living god on earth, held the fragile balance of Ma'at, truth, order, and justice. Every brick laid, every canal dug was an act of devotion to the divine order. Life was not merely survival. It was a vibrant tapestry of commerce, art, and complex social hierarchies. In the heat of the midday, the city was a symphony of labor and trade. Scribes, the keepers of knowledge, recorded the heartbeat of the empire on fragile papyrus. Beyond the written word, the daily lives of the people were governed by the rhythms of the gods. Religion was not a separate entity. It was the air they breathed. Inside the inner sanctum, silence reigned, broken only by the prayers of the chosen. The priests prepared offerings, believing these gifts would keep the gods appeased. But the shadow of the desert was never far away, a reminder of the chaos that lay outside the Nile's protection. Power, however, was tested not by the desert, but by the politics of the royal court. Alliances were forged and broken with a single word from the Pharaoh. Yet, as the empire grew, so did the weight of its defenses. Conflict was inevitable, whether from encroaching tribes or internal strife. The chariot, the ultimate weapon of the ancient world, would decide the fate of borders. Victory was celebrated as a triumph of order over chaos.
He is victorious!
But even the greatest victories eventually faded into the sands of memory. The obsession with eternity meant they built for the next world, not just this one. Tombs were designed as gateways to the stars, guiding the soul through the underworld. The journey to the afterlife was fraught with dangers, a test of the heart against the feather of truth. Those who passed the test would join the gods in the field of reeds. But while the elite prepared for the afterlife, the common people celebrated life in the present. Music and dance were the expressions of a culture that loved life as much as it feared death. Festivals brought the entire nation together, a moment where the lines between God and man blurred. As seasons changed, so did the fortunes of the empire. But the Nile remained.
The wisdom of the ancients was inscribed into the very stone of the earth.
They understood that while empires fall, the river of history continues to flow. Legacy is not what we leave behind in stone, but what we pass down to the generations that follow.
The architects of this world built a foundation that would shape the imagination of humanity forever.
To stand before these monuments is to stand before the sheer audacity of human hope. Every carving tells a story, and every stone holds a secret of a civilization that refused to be forgotten.
Their gods may have vanished, but their questions remain our own. Who are we? Why are we here? And what will we leave behind?
The answers were whispered in the reeds of the Nile long before our time began.
To understand ancient Egypt is to understand the cradle of our shared human ambition. It was a world of gold, of stone, and of a belief that we could conquer mortality itself. But the desert eventually reclaimed its own, leaving behind only the echo of greatness. Yet in that silence, their voices still speak to those willing to listen. They remind us that time is a river, and we are but travelers upon it. The empire is gone, but the civilization remains, etched into the very foundations of the world. From the dust of the valley to the stars above, they reached for the infinite. This is the story of the Nile, a story of humans, gods, and the eternal desire to be remembered. History is not behind us. It is all around us, waiting to be rediscovered. Welcome to the eternal world of ancient Egypt.